Yeah, I had to make a video about video in response to this video. Ro Khanna blames Jill Stein. Yeah, let's get into it here.
But based on what I've seen, there was Gavin Newsom had the meeting at the White House. Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris are talking about donors together. So we reported on this information. It seems like to me that they're obviously trying to put someone into primary against Joe Biden. I would actually say that 2024 would actually be the time that a third party candidate could actually stand a good shot.
Well, the question is who's the third party candidate? Tends to be as someone who's a billionaire, and it's not clear to me that they're going to be for working families and the policies we want. Let's look at the Democratic Party's history. I mean, the party has gotten us Social Security, it got us Medicare, it got us civil rights legislation, it got us voting rights
Dude, that
legislation,
was
it
like
got us
50
the
years ago.
expansion of the Earned Income Tax Credit, it got us strong union laws, it got us the
What?
Affordable Care Act, it stood up.
Romney Care, the Republican health care plan. Let's rewind and listen to this again.
Legislation. It got us the expansion of the Earned Income Tax Credit. It got us strong union laws. It got us the Affordable Care Act. It stood up for women's rights. So I
How do you even respond to that? This guy is the worst.
think that there's a lot that the Democratic Party has achieved. Now, we, in my
Let's see what else they've achieved. Um, that she's like, yeah, right. um, $40 billion for their defense contractor buddies and their little war. Uh, what was it? 3-4 trillion dollar sellout at the beginning of COVID. Um, yeah, the bullshit privatization infrastructure crap. This guy is the worst.
view, ought to be making the Democratic Party a progressive party, a populist party, a party that's going to
Yeah, that
stand
will
for
never
old
happen.
policy. But it would be wrong to give up on a party that has achieved so much. Now, if there is an independent
Yeah, so much for your
grassroots candidate
donors.
who is standing for bold progressive policies, fine. But usually, the independent third party candidates tend to be billionaires or celebrities, and it's not clear to me that those policies that they're going to advocate are going to be Medicare for all or free public.
Most of the people in your party are buku millionaires and rich people too. How would that be any different? You mean like that Bloomberg guy who was going to run as a Democrat? This guy's full of shit.
College or the progressive policies that many people, your listeners, care about.
Well, I happen to know one here locally pretty well who was grassroots third party candidate, and that was Dr. Jill Stein. And when she ran, we were guilt tripped to vote for Hillary Clinton. That if we didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, then Trump would win. But I still say to this day that Jill Stein was the better candidate.
Well, I supported Hillary Clinton in the general election, and I'm proud of supporting Hillary Clinton. I think that Trump was such a
Wait a minute. Rewind that.
independent grassroots candidate who is standing for bold progressive policies, fine. But usually, the independent third party candidates tend to be billionaires or celebrities, and it's not clear to me that those policies that they're going to advocate are going to be Medicare for all or free public college or
Joe
the
Biden's not
progressive
for any of
policies
those
that
things.
many people, your listeners, care about.
Well, I happen to know one here locally pretty well who was grassroots third party candidate, and that was Dr. Jill Stein. And when she ran, we were guilt tripped to vote for Hillary Clinton. That if we didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, then Trump would win. But I still say to this day that Jill Stein was the better candidate.
Well, I supported Hillary Clinton in the general election, and I'm proud of supporting Hillary Clinton. I think that Trump was such a
Okay, he just said he was proud to support Hillary. Warmonger, fascist, Wall Street puppet, Hillary. He's not saying, "Oh, she was the lesser of two evils. Trumpy the clown was so bad." He was proud to support Fringe right Shillery. Fuck this guy. This guy is a piece of shit.
A threat to democracy and is
Oh,
such a threat
Trumpy
to
the
democracy.
clown is
Look,
the
if Hillary
big
Clinton had
threat to
won, we
democracy.
would not have had Roe versus Wade overturned. So I do not agree with people
This is
who
Shillery who
supported
picked
Jill Stein,
anti-choice
especially
Tim
in swing
Kaine as her
states,
running mate.
because the costing of Hillary Clinton that election really led to Gorsuch and Kavanaugh and the Supreme Court that we currently have.
What?
Well, I would say that Hillary Clinton's campaign cost her the election herself.
Yeah.
I feel like that was her doing. Ignoring the Rust Belt, I think, was a totally awful idea. You cannot avoid the Rust Belt. She should have learned that from Bill Clinton. He knew to campaign there. I would also add that having a running mate who was anti-choice, Tim Kaine was not pro-choice when it came to abortion,
Look
was
at him.
also
He's
not
like,
a good
oh,
idea.
I don't
And I
know
also
about
think that
that.
Hillary Clinton did not talk to the everyday average person. She was talking at people instead of talking to them. And she's corporate. So for me, I was looking for someone who's grassroots, someone who actually cares about the people, someone who is not going to get us into these never-ending wars, and someone who really was going to get in there and fight. And Hillary Clinton was just going to be an extension of Barack Obama, and people wanted something different. So I don't blame someone like Jill
She'd be
Stein. I
worse than
blame Barack
Obama,
Obama. I think
which
he's
is
the
hard to
one
believe.
that actually gave us Trump in the first place because he made all these promises and he didn't fulfill them.
I have a lot of admiration for President Obama. I think
Oh my
he had
God.
overcome so much, especially as the first black president.
The
And
drone
he had
master.
significant achievements with the Dodd-Frank bill, with rescuing us. Where people forget what the economy was like back in 2008. The hand he was dealt with getting the Affordable Care Act passed. But
Romney
I agree that
carried
we
the
need to have
Republican
more
health
of a
care
focus
plan. He
on
keeps
working
coming
class
back to
Americans,
that.
on bringing production back, on going to the Midwest and the Black South, and dealing with the consequences of deindustrialization. And that can be a agenda that the Democratic Party corrects.
8 largest
But
military budgets in the history of
I
the
think it is
world at the
devastating
time.
for this country that Donald Trump was elected over
Overturning the
Hillary Clinton.
ban on
And I was a
exporting
proud
fossil
supporter of Bernie
fuels,
Sanders
which had
in
stood since
2016. I was his
1973.
co-chair in 2020, but after the primary, I'm proud that I supported Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden. I do think that long term for the party, though, we
Look
need
at
to
Sabby.
get
She's like, what the
progressive
fuck?
policies in our party platform, and we will only do that when we have a progressive really win the party's nomination.
You are a
Well,
joke.
I can tell you as an African American, Barack Obama was not good for us. He militarized the police. Black Lives Matter, Ferguson happened under his presidency. Obama increased police funding.
Look at
So
this
you
guy.
have
He's like,
black
I want out of
neighborhoods
here.
that are more so targeted by the police because of Barack Obama. So just because he was the first, black president, that doesn't mean that he was doing the right things. And I have to tell you that when it comes to the Democratic Party, this idea of identity politics, it's not selling well with people. You can't just be the first black this or the first Asian that. You have to actually do something for the people that's going to actually help and transform their lives.
Well, I do think President Obama did a lot to help people's lives. I mean, he got the Affordable Care Act. Millions of people didn't have health care insurance. We were
Dude,
in
that made
one
shit
of the
worse.
greatest recessions. And he rescued us from one of the greatest recessions. He had checks on Wall Street's excesses with
No, he
Dodd-Frank.
didn't. He was a
So I think
sellout to
we
Wall
need
Street.
more.
They
Of
picked his
course, I think
entire.
we get the $15 minimum wage, Medicare for all. But President Obama made significant progress, and I do think I agree
Yeah,
with you that
in
we need a universal message
spying,
focusing on policy,
drones,
but I don't think we
war,
can
killing,
discount the achievement of someone after
fascism.
250 years of slavery and 100 years of Jim Crow to have the first person of color in the Western world, not just America, and what Barack Obama represented because of his uh, sheer tenacity. I think he is
Who
someone
fucking
worthy of
cares?
admiration. Now, of course, I'm biased. I worked in his administration, but I am committed to building on that and building in a very progressive direction with some of the policies that
What?
we've discussed.
But Ro Khanna, Barack Obama bailed out Wall Street instead of the American people. I remember '08 very well, very well. When you had all these banks stealing black people's homes, Barack Obama chose to bail out Wall Street. So
Well, I
if,
was
if
against, and then I do have to go after I know it's been a little over 30 minutes, but I want to give
It
you
hasn't been any
a moment
30 minutes,
just
dude.
to
You've been on
finish
there
up the
for less than
conversation.
7.
I agree with you that it was a mistake to give those bankers those bonuses, and we should have had policy that was more targeted towards homeowners who were being foreclosed. But people have to be judged, I think, in the context of their times and holistically. And overall, there is no doubt in my mind that President Obama
Was the third
made a
term of Dick
contribution to
Cheney
make this a better country, a more inclusive country than not.
better for Wall
And the
Street and
question is, where
lobbyists?
do we go from here? And I think that is adopting more progressive policy.
We'll have to agree to disagree with that one. But thank you so much for your time. I know you're
Thank
busy.
you.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
This guy's like, I'm never coming on here again. God. That guy, I think that guy is actually worse than, like, Dick Cheney. At least Dick Cheney, you know what he's gonna do. This fucking sack of shit says he's one thing, and then he says, ooh, I'm a moderate conservative, and then he's votes for fringe right parties. Yeah, fuck that guy.